Thank you. So I have a question for everybody, and the question I have is, what is leadership? We'll go with hands so I know who wants to speak. So what is leadership? Yeah. Creating followership. All right, great. What else? What else is leadership? Yes. A little bit louder. Inspiring people. Okay, great. Great, great. What else? What else is leadership? I want to make sure you get that if you want the session where you sit for 45 minutes and listen, you probably ought to head out sooner rather than later. That's not what we're doing here. So someone spoke, what is leadership? Supporting your people. Great. Influence. All right. What is leadership? All right, so getting the vision understood by the team and then having it to go. Cool. What else? Facilitating an environment. Any particular environment? An environment for success. All right. Yep. Cool. All right. Let me see if I go ahead. Building people. So I've got a definition which is not a million miles away from what you had. So there's a book by House, and House wrote that leadership is the ability of an individual to influence, motivate, and enable others to contribute toward the effectiveness and success of the organization. So there are a couple of keywords I just want to point out with this. So influence, motivate, and enable. That it's an individual. And most importantly, that it's an ability. It's not a knowledge. What you know about leadership is interesting. And what you know about leadership can inform your behavior. But you don't get assessed on what you know about leadership. What do you get assessed on? The behavior that you engage in on a moment-by-moment basis across time. That's what matters. So that you know about leadership, if we were to spend 45 minutes talking about leadership, that might be interesting, but it won't make a difference because speeches don't make a difference. So why the heck am I here? Because what we're going to do in the next 42 minutes is we're going to actually get you to engage in an influencing situation with your partner, who you will meet momentarily, to get feedback from your partner on your effectiveness and your maybe areas that could improve of effectiveness. Then I'm going to do a demo, and either that'll work or it won't, but either which way it'll be better than a lecture. And then after that you're going to get another go, and then you're going to get feedback from your partner again. So the key is, what I'm interested in is I'm not actually interested in you knowing more as a result of this session. What I'm interested in is that you have at least one thing where you're clearer about an influencing strength that you have, and at least one thing where you're clear about a potential influencing area for development that you can continue to work on. Because influencing is individual. So there is no one-size-fits-all. There are ways in which you are more effective and ways in which you could be more effective. And that's what I'm interested in focusing on. Now, I would like to ask your permission. The permission I would like to ask is, so I've designed a 45-minute session. So we started at about 5 past. So the permission I'd like to request is that if you need to go at 2:45, not a problem, head out at 2:45. But my request is that we have a 45 minutes and we go till 2:50, and then if you can stay till 2:50, great, and if you can't, just head on out. Is that okay to do that? Okay, cool, fabulous, excellent. All right, let me check my notes. All right, so the vehicle we're going to use to increase these skills is actually under your seat. So if you look under your seat, it feels like, one of those potluck things. Oh, who's got that? Okay, everybody's got it under the seat. If you don't have a handout under your seat, then, and I think a couple of people in this section, you've done them already. Anybody who doesn't have a handout, put your hand up, and Mariah will give that right over here. All right? So there's a case study called Acme. All right? And what I need you to do is I need you to take, and some of you have started already, I need you to take the next 2 minutes to read the case study, because you and your partner, you're going to play Alex to their Charlie, and then you're going to play Charlie to their Alex. So take 2 minutes just to familiarize yourself with the basics of that case study now, please. All right. So now we just need to partner up. So I just need for you to interact with your neighbor. If you know your neighbor, great. If you don't know your neighbor, then your neighbor is either Alex or Charlie. All right? So if you don't have a partner, everyone got a partner? Everyone got a partner? Who doesn't have a partner? We can move you if we need to find you a partner. Okay. Anybody not have a partner? We need a partner for the gentleman at the back. Yep. Do you two gentlemen want to get together? Yep. Great. Yep. Super. All right. So now, just before you start, so what's going to happen is, I realize it's an abbreviated time frame because you're actually going to get like 3.5, 4 minutes just. So you're going to do the first part, if you're Alex, because we're focused on Alex, you're going to do the first part of your conversation that you would have with Charlie about the issue that you're having with Charlie, right? So that's what you're going to do. So you're going to do 3.5 minutes or thereabouts as Charlie, and then you're going to immediately switch, and I'll tell you when, and then you're going to be Charlie to their Alex. So if they're a really pain in the bum Charlie, payback is a fabulous thing. So if you're the first Charlie, you might want to just bear in mind that you're going to be Alex in 3.5 minutes. So just to be aware of that. All right. And then the second thing is on the back of your sheet, there's a handy little cheat sheet. So if you're Charlie, if you just have this handy, so because in addition to being Charlie, you're also observing the strengths and potential areas of development of your Alex. So you can just notice, based against this template, what your Alex is a little better at and what they maybe could do a little better at. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. So in whichever order you want, the first Alex can start being Alex now. Go. All right. And time. All right. Eyes front. Eyes front. All right. Got a threesome at the back. That's very focused. All right, eyes front. Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to ask you, what did your partner do best? And what would be one thing that you would recommend your partner do a little differently next time? So I'm going to ask you that question in a minute. But beforehand, now everybody in the room has had a go at being Charlie. I need a Charlie. All right, because I'm going to run a demo with a Charlie. So I just need a Charlie volunteer. Don't have to be Alex, just have to be Charlie. It's a lot easier to be Charlie than it is to be Alex. All right, so who's, yep, okay, great, yep, super. You want to, so we'll get you, so while I'm asking the question, we'll get you up and we'll get you in the chair. And if you can just put the microphone on, that'd be fab. All right, so what did your partner do well? What did your partner do well? Nice and loud. Started with a positive. Excellent. And what specifically did your partner say? Excellent. Okay, good. Like that. That doesn't always come up, so that's good. What else?
Can you say what he said?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was that he recognized Charlie for the great quality work that Charlie does. Thank you very much indeed. Who else saw Charlie do something effectively? Yes. Okay, so when Charlie was defensive, then what the Alex did was gave examples of specific things that Charlie had done so that you were talking about substantive facts as opposed to just opinions. Yep, cool. What else? If we have the microphone, the handheld microphone that we can get to people, that would be super. Yep, right here. Yep. We're just going to give you a microphone, ma'am.
I got the suggestions as to what I can do to avoid those situations in the coming projects.
Okay, so as Charlie, you got suggestions from Alex as to what you could do more effectively. Cool. What else? Right over here, you're going the wrong way.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. And you realize that I'm just going to pick the farthest away each time, right? Because this is absolutely worth the price of admission. Yes?
Instead of starting with an accusation, just open up with recognizing the person's contribution to the company.
Right, again, so
6
recognizing
years.
the positive and the
Absolutely.
contribution.
Yep.
Cool. All right, so now let's just switch gears. Understanding that people like to get recognition feedback, and what's most valuable is to get, how can I be more effective next time? So what would be one thing that maybe Alex could be more effective at when they get their second go? Was that where you were going to go? Yep. Great. Yep.
Brendan asked me lots of really good open-ended questions and was very much engaged, and also offered some solutions as well to some of my problems.
Okay, so that's a strength or an area for development?
No, strength, absolute strength. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So we got one extra strength. You're very keen on the strengths. Now we're looking for areas for development for next time. Yep.
So I was given the suggestions, but not given the opportunity to what I can do differently next time.
Okay, so
So
you were being told as opposed to having, so from the previous speaker we were learning about co-creation. So there wasn't so much co-creation, it was kind of like, here's the creation that you will accept.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yep. What else? Right over here. God, this is great. This is so great.
Well, I'll play Charlie, and in response to Alex's sort of great ideas or suggestions about how he can help me, but he pretty much put the onus back on me, asking me, so what is it that you can do differently, or what is it that, the lack of staff, or what is it that you can fix in your entity?
So is that a strength or an area for development?
That was just confusing because the onus got back on me, so he's
Right.
coming to me with a problem and he wants me to solve it.
Okay, so interesting. I would actually say that's a strength rather than area for development, but that's all right. That's all right, because remember that co-creation? All right, take one more area for development. One more area for development. How can you add value to your partner? Right here.
Need to work out what will motivate them and help them commit to doing better rather than just telling them stuff. So find what's sort of going to make them want to.
So problem solving together rather than here's the solution.
Well, and incentive. You know, what's actually going to give him the incentive? You can
Okay.
say, okay, you've asked me, or I
So
said
what's
I'm
the
gonna do this.
upside for Charlie?
Yeah.
Right, okay, cool. All right, so now we get to the high wire part of the interaction, because I'm now going to do it in front of 100 people. All right, and we'll see how we go. And again, I am sure that there will be things that I can be more effective at, and that's great, right? So I'm going to run the role play. If you can see, great. If you need to move, not a problem. So I'm going to run the role play as Alex. What I want you to again have that sheet in front of you, just to notice what am I doing more of, what am I doing less of, and where is it being more effective or less effective, and then we'll come for some feedback from me afterwards. Make sense? All right, good. Charlie.
Alex, how are you?
Great. Thank you so much for making the time to meet me. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
So I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you helping me out with Enrico. That was a pretty sticky situation there for a few minutes, and if it had not been for you, we might have been in trouble with him as a client. So I just want to say I really appreciate your help with that.
You know I'm always there for you, Alex.
Thank you. So my goal is for us to find, to identify what the most effective way is that we can work together to deliver the best quality that we can to our clients. Is that something that you're willing to work with me on?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm already doing that though,
Fabulous.
Alex. I mean, the quality of these reports, as you know, is of the highest quality. The brand of ours is up there. I mean, people talk about the quality. It is just right up there. I don't think there's any actual upside to the quality in terms of the content of the report. So I think we're already doing that. So I'm right behind you in terms of, supporting our brand.
I could not agree with you more. I think that the quality that your department produces is best in class. And I think that that is excellent work that you do. How do you think our clients define quality?
I think they define it by the outcomes of how they use that report.
Yep.
So I think in terms of what we've seen in the past and the outcomes that have come out, the feedback has been fantastic on what we've achieved in those reports.
Right. So client satisfaction.
Client satisfaction.
Great.
Yep.
And how is client satisfaction at the moment?
Well, I think it's going pretty well. I think the reports that we've done recently have been well received. The only downside, I think, is the engagement up front. I think maybe you can help there, where maybe you can negotiate some more time for us, because I think we do want to make sure our brand is really strong and kept strong. We
Yep.
don't want a detriment in that. I think that maybe in the engagement process, and
Yep.
I'd look to you for that,
Yep, yep.
we could maybe get some more time. So maybe
So-
some contingency, maybe, than just more time.
So how are you setting the deadlines at the moment?
Well, it's more set by yourselves, really, because it's a resourcing issue.
So pausing just for a moment. Is that in the case? So this is what's called inventing case facts. There's a technical term for this. It's called cheating. All right. So before we go back in roll, let us be clear. You set the timelines.
No, thank you so
All right.
much. Yeah. So the resource model we have at the moment is limited. We need to really look at how we can maybe expand that to deal to keeping that quality at that level.
And what specific ways would you identify to bring projects more in on schedule to the ones that you've set?
So I think we need to sequence our engagements with the clients better.
Okay.
So I think we need to think about what we're trying to pack in. We're probably trying to bite off more than we can chew.
Okay.
So deliver less, but do it better.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. How is profitability of your area compared to others at the moment?
I'm not across that. I just know
Okay.
that our profitability is declining though.
Okay. So it is actually, so your area's profitability is actually currently lower than a number of the other areas. What do you think is the driver of that?
I think it's the cost of quality.
The cost of quality. Okay. And again, how would our client define quality?
So I think it's about the outcomes they get from the report.
Right. Now, so how important is it that they get it at the time that that we have committed that they get it?
Well, in my experience, it's been that they'd rather have a great outcome and content of the report.
Okay.
And if it runs a day late, a week late, a month late, they'd rather get a great content outcome
Okay.
than come up with something that's substandard.
Okay. So for you, it's an either-or proposition.
Sorry, Alex, because that could lead to the wrong outcome.
Right. So your observation is it's an either-or outcome. It's either top functionality or it's delivering on time.
Correct.
Okay. What's the current situation with regard to client retention in your area?
I think we've had about a 2% drop.
Okay. Well, so actually, as per the data you have in front of you, so actually we've recently lost two clients. Two clients in your area, which would be more than 2%.
Yeah.
What do you think is the driver of that?
I think it's the engagement.
What do you mean by that?
So I think we're not allowing enough time up front to do the quality we need to deliver for the client.
Okay.
Because I think if we deliver substandard, then I think we'll lose more than 2 clients.
Right. Well, because the reality is that the reason that clients are leaving is because we're not delivering against the timeframes that we've set. Can I throw an idea out at you?
Well, can I just challenge that though?
Of course you can.
So I think we can't test that though. If I deliver a substandard report, that'd be the only way we test whether those clients are actually going to leave or not.
So what is the process that you use to determine how long a report will take?
How long is a piece of string? I guess it really comes down to what has been the requirements set, my past experience with the client base, and what I see as the outcomes that have occurred before. And I know that if I don't deliver to that standard, I think the outcomes for the client will be poorer.
So what caused the situation with Enrico?
Well, I think that was probably a one-off in the sense of he was obviously expecting something at a certain time.
Yep.
I think the fact that it took longer was the issue.
Yep.
Maybe there was some poor communication around that.
Poor communication around following through on the deadlines that we've set?
Expectation settings on that.
Right,
yes,
right.
Yeah.
So how can we ensure that going forward, the deadlines that we set are the deadlines that are adhered to?
Yeah, I think Alex, as the account manager, that maybe that falls into your sphere.
Okay. So your sense is that honouring the deadlines that you've set for your clients is my responsibility?
Well, I think as the primary account holder, then I think I just communicate through to you, and then you need to take that message through.
Okay. So when you're setting deadlines with your clients, that happens independent of me. So your observation is it would be my responsibility to ensure that the deadlines that you set with the clients are adhered to?
Yeah, because it's very important I remain independent of that so I can just focus on the quality of the report.
Okay, all right. So let us be clear. Let us be clear. The responsibility for the quality and the deadlines is with your area, as it is with the other department heads who are delivering against that. May I ask you a question?
Sure.
What resources might you currently have within your team that would have expertise at deadline setting?
I think that lies with me.
Okay, okay. And how is that going right now?
Well, I think the Enrico case was, as I say, a one-off.
Okay, even though we have the 2 other clients that we have lost because of a lack of timeliness on following through on the commitments that have been set.
I think that's just hearsay, though, isn't it? It's on the grapevine.
Okay, so I'm going to pause. So because I want to get you out of here on the time that we've committed, I'm going to pause there. I'm going to pause there. Give me a fist bump. Thank you, Charlie, I think. All right. So what I would want to get to is that, what I need to get to is that Charlie owns that this is Charlie's problem, right? Now, how, if I say, Charlie, this is your problem, will Charlie believe me? Right, so I have to get Charlie to own it. Now, in the session we've got, I clearly didn't have time because Charlie was sticking to his guns very effectively, right? But having got that ownership, then it's important. Is it important that I determine what the plan is going forward? Or is it important that I facilitate with Charlie getting what Charlie's plan is going forward and then making sure that works for me too? Right. So I just want to, before you get another go, what did you notice, particularly against the framework that you've got? What did you notice? And we'll start, hopefully there's 1 or 2 things that you noticed that I did effectively. What were the things that you noticed that worked? What did you notice in terms of what I did? Yep.
Number 1 for me was body language. It didn't come across as attacking. It was more of, hey, let's have a conversation.
Right, really wanting to set the tone that we're in this together. This isn't this, right? It's this, right? Okay, cool. What else?
I think redefining quality and customer satisfaction was very important because obviously Charlie had a different mindset about what quality meant.
Yes.
And that probably wasn't on the same wavelength as the customer.
Right.
Hence the client retention and the issues with profitability.
Right. So is there anything inherently, we'll stay with you for a minute, is there anything inherently bad about Charlie or Charlie's motives? No.
Not really, no.
He just frames quality purely in the terms of the report has to be best in class and timeliness really doesn't matter. So framing quality in terms of its timeliness consistent with the deadlines that we've set is really important.
Which is quite expected from some highly technical people. I mean,
right.
You get that in a lot of organisations.
That's why we have the role play. Cool, yep. What else? What else was effective? Yep.
You actually went back to quality a couple of times to reinforce the point, trying to get that across. And you didn't just roll over either. You actually did fight back in parts, in a good way.
So I have no choice, right? This is my job. Leadership is the ability to influence, motivate, and enable others to succeed for the organization. This is my number one, as a leader, this is my number one job, right? So when sometimes you hear people say, it takes too long, right? I don't have time. Let me just tell Charlie what Charlie needs to do. Getting Charlie on the same page as you, that is your number one priority as a leader. Does that make sense? Cool. Things that you would have me do differently next time.
Ooh, hold on. I think you were very persistent, but it started to come across as a bit sort of confrontational, and maybe a bit more empathy thrown in could have softened that a little bit.
So I completely concur. I'm sure that had something to do with having 100 people and me going, it's 2:40 and I've got to get through this session. Anytime you want to help me out a little bit, Charlie. But yes, absolutely, I would completely concur. Yeah, no, I was like, Charlie, help me out here, I'm trying to get through this. Yeah, and one of the things, I don't know if we'll have the opportunity to do this, but one of the things that I'm keen to do if we can is, I know they're videoing this, so one of the things I've done with my clients is if we can get the video where we can put it on YouTube, then what I can do is I can append comments around what I liked and what I thought was less effective about it. And then if that's useful for you, you can take a look at sort of my critique of this Alex. Does that make sense? One more thing to do more effectively next time, because we want to make sure you have another go. Yes?
Bring more commerciality into the conversation. So there was less focus on the profitability, ongoing sustenance of the organization.
Yeah.
Because if, Charlie was just focusing on the delivery, someone has to look at, will we stay in the business?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And to the degree that I did that less clearly, that's absolutely an area for development, because Charlie has to get, it's not just about pretty reports, it's got to be about commercial viability of the business and reframing that for him. Cool. All right, so you know what's coming? Alex, you get another go at Alex. Charlie, you get another go at Charlie. 3.5 minutes each way. Then we'll come back and wrap it up. Go. And time. All right, eyes front, eyes front. So now, this is the most important question of the session. This is the most important question of the session. I'm talking to the Charlies, which obviously is all of you. Talking to the Charlies. Whose Alex got better? Hands around the room, hands around. If your Charlie got better. If Charlie got better. Okay, so this is not a hand up, all right? This is a hand up. If your Charlie got better, put your hand up. If your Charlie got better, put your hand up. Keep your hand up. Charlie got better. Sorry, you're right. Thank you. Good. If your Alex got better, put your hand up. Thank you. That's the question I meant to ask. Keep your hand up. Look around the room. If your Alex got better, put your hand up. Look around the room. Look around the room. Here's the biggest single thing I want you to get from the session. Practice works. Anything you want to get better at, practice and feedback. Practice and feedback, practice and feedback. That's how you get better at anything. Anything you want to get better at. That's what we do. Listening doesn't get you better. Doing gets you better. And leadership isn't about what you know. Leadership is about what you do. You have 60 seconds max, 30 seconds each. I want you to share with your Alex what do you believe is Alex's greatest strength as an influential leader? And what is one thing that you would have your Alex focus on for his or her next practice? And then you switch. 30 seconds, go now. And time. All right. I got 2 minutes left before we wrap up, before we're done. So, what was the biggest thing you got from the last 43 minutes? What's the biggest thing you got from the last 43 minutes?
Leadership isn't what you know, it's what you do.
Leadership isn't what you know, it's what you do. What did you get? Well, the biggest thing you got from the last 43 minutes and 15 seconds. Practice. Show of hands again. Who got something useful in terms of your influential leadership, either strength or area for development? Put your hand up. Look around the room, look around the room, look around the room. What matters isn't what I say or what you hear. It's not what you know, it's what you do. Enjoy the conference. Thank you for your time.